I'm doing Mayor Patrick Brown's interview because a lot of people told me I should do the interview. There's many issues in Brampton, so let's talk with Patrick. What are the issues in Brampton? Because election year, we should ask him the question. Anybody come to your door, city councillor, regional councillor, whoever come to your door, ask them question because this is your city. You can ask question. Hello, I have Mayor of Brampton, Patrick Brown here. We're going to talk to him some issues. Mayor Patrick Brown, welcome to Sanja Punjab.
Great to talk with Bob dosanjh.
Thank you so much for your time.
So what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about people complaining about their RRL. First, we're going to ask for that because people say that there's no RRL in Mississauga, Etobicoke, Vaughan, Toronto, nothing. Why is it in Brampton?
Well, we looked at sort of best practices where there was an overabundance of basement apartments.
Yeah.
Windsor, Hamilton, communities with universities, colleges were more stressed.
Yeah.
And Brampton had a real problem. At one point, we had over 100,000 international students. We had basement apartments where, frankly, students were living in squalor-like conditions, not safe, did not meet fire code, did not meet building code, and we are inundated with complaints at City Hall. People upset that how can you allow living standards like this? 99% of landlords are good landlords.
Yeah.
But that 1% that have no respect for their neighborhood, no respect for fire code, building code, they are the problems. And I have to say, we put a pilot project around the Sheridan College area.
Yeah.
Where we had the most complaints, and the results were incredible. We took 660 apartment units that were not meeting fire code, not meeting building code, some pretty slum-like conditions, and brought them into compliance. And so it was a big success, and now we're expanding out citywide. And my message to landlords is this. If you meet fire code and building code, you've got nothing to worry about. But we have basic standards in Canada that landlords are expected to adhere to. And we're not going to cut corners on safety. There's no cost for the RRL. It's free. It's a simple message. You have to meet building code and fire code. And if you think you can put safety on the back burner in Brampton, we're sorry you can't.
Well, some people, they say city enforcement give them very hard time to resolve the problem. They're spending $1,000 to make a legal basement. They all done. Some basements are made 20, 30 years ago, but still they have problem to fix so many problems. What do you want to say about this?
Well, then if you don't meet fire code or building code, you should not be renting it out.
Okay.
And the city doesn't set the fire code. The city doesn't set the building code. These are provincial legislations that are put in place for safety. And unfortunately, we get too many preventable tragedies. I have to tell you, one of the things that I hate is getting a call from the fire chief in the middle of the night or early in the morning to tell me that we had a fire where a life was lost. We need to adhere to the safety protocols that exist in Canada. We're not going to cut corners. And if you have electrical that is not safe, if you don't have an exit, if you don't have proper fire suppression, or if you don't have proper occupancy limits, then I'm sorry. If a place is meant to rent 4 people and you're putting 20 people in there, you shouldn't be doing that.
That's right. That's what the issue there before. But now, biggest issue in Brampton is crime. Safety is bigger issue. The last 8 years, what do you think about how you're going to resolve this problem next 4 years? Because crime, people can't get out from the house, people killing, and their car theft, big problem. How are you working on that?
Well, my advice on public safety is every level of government needs to own their area of responsibility. And I've obviously probably been the most outspoken mayor in Canada on public safety. Before I was mayor in Brampton, they would hire for Peel Region about 25 officers a year. That's it. We had one of the worst police to population ratios in the country.
Okay.
When I got a mayor, I said, we got to fix this. We need to hire more police officers. We need to catch up with the provincial average. So we've been hiring 200 to 300 a year from 25 before.
That's right, yeah.
Before, we didn't even keep up with the people that retired. And so, now we've built a muscular Peel Police with a better ability to respond. We've taken 911, for example, used to be 3-minute average wait time. Now it's down to 5 seconds. Huge progress. We cut auto theft 50%. But we have challenges. We've got organized crime from India committing extortions in the GTA. We have the Sonora cartel in Mexico that has been very active in pushing drugs into Canada. I've gone to the Prime Minister, I've gone to the Premier, and I said, I'll own our area of responsibility. I'll get more officers on the ground.
Yeah.
But I need your help to make sure that we can deal with the provincial aspect and the federal aspect. Provincial aspect, we need to expand the courthouse and the jail system. It's too busy. And the Premier's assured me that he's going to take care of that. Federally, I want stricter security at the airport. I want the porous nature of our border addressed. I pushed the federal government on bail reform that's finally got tabled on lawful access, so we can actually, someone gets an extortion on WhatsApp in Canada, we're the only country that we couldn't get the location.
That's right. Yeah.
We have to wait 45 days. In other countries, you can have it within hours.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we got the government to table the lawful access legislation. So we're making progress. I would say Prime Minister Carney has been much more receptive to the police request than Prime Minister Trudeau was. We made no progress under Prime Minister Trudeau on bail reform or lawful access, and now we have legislation tabled in Parliament. And so I honestly think we're heading in the right direction. I think the lawful access legislation will be a game changer, that we can actually chase criminals through their digital IPs. I would also say that we have a proposal, and this is breaking news. We have a proposal before Transport Canada to use drones to help in investigations. And so if there's a home invasion, we can send a drone there. It comes off the top of a rec center, goes straight to the incident, and will follow the people leaving. Follow them on the highway, follow them into a forest. They can shine a light down, video, high-resolution imagery. We need Transport Canada to approve it, but they've used these drones in Las Vegas, in California, where it's been really effective. And so I'm hopeful that we get that approved, and Peel Regional Police would be the first police force in Canada to deploy drones for this purpose.
Traffic is a big issue now. Like 410, you can drive anytime, day, night, morning, too busy. Is any thing you're doing next 4 years about traffic, 410 could be extended? I know it's not a city issue, but still, people fed up from traffic.
So, listen, traffic is a reality in big urban areas. Anyone who promises that they're going to get rid of traffic's probably not being honest.
That's right.
Bob, we're going to have traffic, and it's a headache, and I hate it just like you do. What we are doing, though, is we're supporting the province on the 413. That new highway was going to help us move goods and people. We also got provincial support for the LRT extension. So now the LRT is going to be built all the way right into our GO train station in downtown Brampton. We're advocating for rapid bus transit on Queen Street. Our Deputy Mayor Harkirat Singh has been very vocal in the advocacy for BRT. We have last mile transit now, supported thanks to Prabmeet Sarkaria through MTO. We have Presto and last mile transit with Argo. We've got e-scooter pilot projects. So we're looking at all different ways to move people. We also have more active transportation. We've purchased the Brampton-Orangeville rail line that'll connect Caledon all the way down to Port Credit so people can bicycle and run and walk on that old rail line. So we are expanding the modes and fashions that people can get around.
Another thing, construction in Brampton or everywhere is very slow. How are you going to fast track? Sometimes you see that at Brampton City Hall, Brampton downtown. Construction is very slow. If it's a Goldway Drive, take 3 years to build up. You going to do something about this?
So construction does take time. And, I can tell you we do look at ways to expedite construction. You can pay a premium to have people work 24/7. It does cost more. When you're paying people to do night shifts, it does cost more. In some cases, when projects are behind, we push them to do that 24/7 shifts in construction work, but there is an additional cost for taxpayers when you do that. I know construction is a headache, but construction also reflects progress. And so when you see the construction for the LRT, here in Ontario, that's progress on transit. When you see the construction for our second hospital that is beginning this year, that represents progress on healthcare. When you see construction on the Ambleton Recreation Centre, that represents progress on recreation. So as much as construction, the new police station,
That's right.
big construction project,
Coming up,
once again, that's progress in public safety.
Okay.
So when you see those construction trucks, know that it may slow things down, but on all our top files, for the first time, we're moving forward. As for example, nothing was happening on the LRT, we got it approved. Nothing was happening on new police stations. We got, for the first time in 40 years, we got a new police station approved. And so these are symbolic of progress. And so I actually view construction as a good sign.
What challenges mostly you have in Brampton last 8 years, and you're going to fix those in next 4 years?
So what keeps me up at night is public safety. And I sit on the Peel Police Services Board, and so I get briefed confidentially on the challenges we face and the nature of criminality. And so unfortunately, I know a lot more than I'm able to share in an interview. And some of the challenges we face on criminality do worry me. I would say transnational crime in Canada is a problem. And so when you see movies about the cartel and you think that's just in the movies, it's not. I can tell you the majority of the initial homicides that we had in Peel Region last year were cartel related. The majority of homicides we have are organized crime related. And organized crime is more sophisticated than I think anyone would necessarily appreciate. And I'll give you an example. I'm trying to get Transport Canada to approve drones for the police. Organized crime have been using drones for a long time.
That's right.
On new technology, on criminal techniques, organized crime is very advanced and sophisticated. Do not underestimate how organized crime knows where they can penetrate. And that's why I've been putting up all these cameras around Brampton. I want to make Brampton the worst area to commit a crime because we'll have very elaborate digital evidence. And so what keeps me up at night is this battle with organized crime, but I am prepared to do whatever it takes to make sure Brampton is safe and give the police the tools to push organized crime out of our city.
Election year, this one, and what are going to be changes next 4 years? What are you going to bring in Brampton? Because we need more jobs. Brampton need more businesses, more manufacturers. Is there any idea you have you're going to bring something in Brampton?
So, I think largely what you get with me is I try to look at the big picture. And the big picture was we needed a new hospital. We're getting that. That construction starting this year will be built over the next 4 years. We need a regional cancer center. We're going to get that. We're in the final stages of approvals with the province. We got our med school open now. That was on my bucket list of projects to achieve. The LRT project will be well into construction very shortly for the extension. I want to also build the recreation center at Howden. That's on my desk of projects to expedite. I want to see a new library and community center in Wards 7 and 8 is something I've worked very closely with Councillor Rod Power on that I think will be great for that area. I want to continue to make sure that policing have the modern technology and infrastructure. I'd also say when it comes to economic development, we have a 1% vacancy rate when it comes to employment. Our economy is booming. And whether it's defense companies like Rochelle, whether it is space companies like MDA, there's a lot of extraordinary economic development activity happening in Brampton that people don't even realize. And so our economy, as much as we're challenged by tariffs in the US, our economy is booming. And every week, if you look at my social media, every week I'm at a new business opening or expansion. And so part of the challenge for economic development is not recruiting businesses, because I've got a list of businesses that want to come to Brampton. It's finding the space for them. And so I need to protect employment land. There's always developers that want to rezone employment land. And I say, no, we need to protect our employment land for good paying jobs of tomorrow. I would say I do have an eye on the jobs of tomorrow. So I'm particularly interested in the tech space. the space arena, because I think there's a plethora of opportunities in space, and also in medical technology. And of course, cybersecurity.
That's right,
So I think there's a lot of exciting opportunities in all those ecosystems.
Okay, thank you so much. And I know is still have 6 months for election, and we're gonna have more interviews. And if you want to give any message in the end of the interview.
Well, you know, I've been in public service for a long time, and so when it comes to elections, So I don't think about elections, which is unusual for a politician. When I say I don't think about elections, I always say, if you put the work in, residents see that. It's like in school. If you do your homework, the teacher will see it, and you can't come up with excuses. The dog ate my homework. And so when I go to residents, and I'll say, on big picture, these are the projects that I said we could achieve together. And I think by and large, we are well on our way on every major project that we have set out to achieve. And so if you do your homework, residents recognize that. And so you don't need to worry about showing the teacher your homework.
Mayor Patrick Brown, thank you so much for your time, and best wishes for next term.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.